Hi, and welcome back to Fantalk, where we're going to be doing some mandatory Mandalorian.
Woo, Star Wars!
Yep, a new episode is out, and the adventure continues.
It does.
Worst babysitter ever.
So true. Just to say a little negative, one negative, which isn't really that negative, but we talked about this last episode. This dude just don't give a damn. He'll walk away from his ship, and now he walks away from his ship with the bounty in there. He knows everybody in the world's looking for this kid. He's just like, hey, he's asleep. Pace him out.
You think he'd walk across the desert?
Locked it. Right? Yeah. Get a freaking bloop, bloop.
Leave a bowl of water out for him.
Yeah, I'm just saying a little bloop bloop. Something. Yeah.
Another kind of felt like another kind of like a Western theme, kind of going for another bounty, joining up with a rookie who thinks he knows more than he does.
Does. A classic tale of a guy who thinks he's a badass.
The new
he's
hotshot?
Really not at all. Yeah. You would think that somebody that had accomplished everything that I guess we're calling him Mando at this point. That's what everybody else is calling him. That some of the things that he's accomplished, that this kid would have had a little more fear, healthy respect. But
yeah, if you basically get the finger to the guild and you're out there just doing your thing without hiding, you got to kind of watch out for that guy because he's got some I was gonna say brass, but some steel.
Cojones. And then on the same note, you got like this assassin that he's decided he's gonna go after, which obviously is a big deal. And you got the Mandalorian going, "Oh, good luck, have fun with that." And he's like, "Okay, you can have all the money." And then he's like, "Okay." And so I was like, not that he was scared of her, it was that it's not worth the effort. Oh, but if I can get all the money for it, then I'll do it. No big deal.
So do you like the episode 4 fan
Shameless.
It was good.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing the cantina again. And sitting down at the same booth, I'm like, okay, who's going to shoot first?
His feet propped up.
Up on there, everything. The droid, even the droid was like really, from from that episode, but for, like there was that droid was in
episode 4,
but it was in the Ewok thing.
Yeah.
It was the one that was talking to him, or not Ewok, I'm sorry, Jawa, the big Jawa. When the droids get captured and they're branding the foot.
Yeah.
He's a little dude that's in there, and he's all like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It was like, there were so many throwbacks to that episode of Star Wars. And,
stormtroopers' heads on spikes. They really don't like the Empire out there.
They don't. They do not.
That area was controlled by the Hutts. I don't really know if it still is. I'm sure it is, and they were,
in close with the Empire.
Reestablishing some authority.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like he, for a second, was kind of getting a new little, ally, but, the girl that ended up kind of watching over. Yeah, the space poor girl. I mean, I couldn't tell if they were going to, kind of hit off there at the end or not. It was like, as far as, they seem to respect each other, at least, for taking care of the kid and fixing the ship up.
Well, I think what we're seeing is, with any series, we're building relationships. Mm-hmm. And I think at some point, this is my theory, my fan theory at this point, is at some point as the seasons progress and we get to, we have no end game at this point. No what's the big bad, what's going to happen here. I think
I don't feel like it's building a huge amount each time.
Yeah, but I think that once the heat starts to build and once we start seeing a real villain and what's going on, I think it's going to be like any kind of thing. He's going to have to build himself a team. He's going to need more than just himself to get through the whole thing. And I think that you're looking at his mechanic. I think the other soldier from the last episode is going to be his enforcer. So, somebody that
maybe
helps
somebody
him.
from that village who helps.
Yeah, and it's so I think you're starting to see these relationships he's building over these months, because we already covered this is not day to day, this is months of time. So over the year maybe that this whole season is going to span, you're going to see these relationships that he's building, and then when everything goes wrong, these are going to be people he falls back on to create that team.
Well, I'd also go as far as to say they hinted this episode on what happened before, and she said, well, it didn't work out real well, but I guess you got out okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if we're going to see some retribution that the other Mandalorians took over that, and what the retribution for that retribution's going to be.
Yeah. Definitely at some point you think that the Mandalorians definitely have a plan. And part of it is to regroup and rebuild, but definitely they have no love for the Empire.
That's the way.
So they're definitely, you would think at some point, going to have some kind of, as you put, retribution for what happened to him.
Well, and we'll get more of a story as to what happened after he left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that very final scene?
The last little bit.
The shadowy figure walking up to her.
Yeah, that was...
All the speculation is wrong. It's a new character.
I think it's a new character, yeah. I don't know. It's very interesting because we were talking about this earlier. I didn't even really notice the sound effects whenever it first happened. I actually usually watch the credits, and I started to watch the credits, and then it showed that scene. I was like, what? And I'm like, do I need to go back and watch every episode? No, you don't. But... Yeah, obviously somebody walks up to the assassin. Maybe she's not dead. Maybe she is, and they're just going over the body. But like we said, you can look up on the internet 1,000 different speculations of who it is. From
Well, there's that kind of clinking sound, which is interesting.
Yeah, which is what you guys both brought up to me, and that is the sound that Boba Fett's armor made in the his first appearance in Empire. Whenever he would walk around, same thing with the Mandalorian. When he walks, you kind of hear that clanging sound. So that it could be possibly Boba Fett or another Mandalorian. But I'm with you. I think it's going to be a whole new character. I think it's going to be possibly maybe the big bad, maybe the guy that's really tracking him, like the most serious character, at least thus far. But there's a lot of speculation that we're going to see a throwback character from maybe the original series.
Everyone from Luke Skywalker to Boba Fett. And I don't think we're going to see any of those really throwback characters this early on.
I don't either.
I'm not going to say next season or late in this season, but I think this early on we're still introducing new characters and trying to rebuild this new world, really.
Yeah.
And when we hypothesize Boba Fett, we know he died 5 years prior in Return. Apparently died.
Allegedly.
Yeah, apparently died.
Allegedly. Now, if you go with books and all that, he ends up escaping from the Starlight Pit and yada, yada, yada. So, but I just feel like that's not going to be something that comes into this. Boba Fett's gone.
He would overshadow the main character, being the Mandalorian.
And he's not even a Mandalorian. So, he's a clone. He's a clone, yeah. So, but there's no telling who this character is. But I'm with you guys. I feel like it's going to be a new character of some sort. Somebody important, obviously, enough that they had to have that.
It could actually be a good guy who's tracking him down to help him, or it could be extra bad guy. It could be just another guild bounty hunter, because we know the guild's going to continue going after him. We're going to see some of those main guild characters again, trying to trap him, catch him, whatever. So too much money involved.
Yeah, and at this point, he probably has a bounty out on him at this point. Not just on them tracking the child, because he has betrayed the guild. They're looking for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
this episode didn't really seem to give much new on Baby Yoda, so we'll have to keep waiting on that one. I did have a fan theory on that one. 50 years old, so he's born pre-Empire, and that was back when Yoda was on the Jedi Council, completely overlooking the fact that Anakin was getting busy with Padme. So maybe Yoda didn't rat him out because he had something going on the side.
Possibly.
Slapping some alien cheeks.
Yeah. He's doing it for the betterment of the species.
No, I am more under the belief that it has been touched on in Star Wars lore that they're a very rare species, that they're their whole race is very, force sensitive. So I'm sure that, that Yoda wasn't... He was super powerful in the Force, and everybody really respected him because there weren't any more of them, And if
there's one on the Jedi Council. If you look at that, there's
there's another one.
There a second one? But it's like, so it's like I feel like he was super powerful with the Force, but their race is already kind of got a leg up on everybody else. They're a Force sensitive race, so.
But they still have to procreate, so it came from somewhere.
Yeah.
Everybody in the episode's like, I don't know what it is. So clearly, they're rare. So.
Yeah. So, also something I thought of this episode is he doesn't like droids.
Oh, that was established in the first episode.
Of the Clone Wars, during the droids and stuff, you see the flashbacks of the droids shooting everything up, blowing stuff up, and that's how his family died. So I get it.
Yeah, he's like, no droids.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah. But so far, we're continually getting great episodes. They're short and sweet, and it is kind of becoming more of a week-to-week kind of episode-to-episode with that little bit of continuation. I feel like as
it's
it goes...
It's a very slow build-up.
Yeah,
it's very
slow.
episodic as opposed to serialized almost at this point, but I feel like there's definitely obviously a storyline to it. But
yeah, and the thing that surprises me is if this was a lot of other shows, some of these episodes like last week's and maybe even this week's, it would start to be like, okay, this is just, you're plain Jane kind of a series. But they're doing such a good job at keeping it entertaining and fun. So
if it was just like some random show that was on a different channel or streaming service, I would be wondering like, okay, they're just going to keep this kind of episodic and not really come to a final resolution or have a big old point to the end of it. But coming from the source, Jon Favreau, Star Wars, Disney in general, and the fact that this is the flagship show for Disney Plus, my hopes are that there's something at the end of this season.
Oh, I'm sure there is. My thing is just, how quickly we're going to get there. There obviously is a lot more episodes to come. So this isn't just a 8 episode thing. I think it's 12 episodes. Is that how many episodes we're doing?
Pause.
It's
Is it just 8?
Mandalorian's only 8 episodes?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Shoot.
So 8 episodes.
We're like 5 into it?
You just have to cut that whole part out then.
Yeah.
Because, all right.
Yeah, so
Everybody
me
back
again,
to
how
your
many
same
episodes?
positions?
how many episodes?
Yeah. So how many episodes are we going to have in this season?
We've got 8 of them, and we're 5 into it.
5.
Yeah.
So just a couple more episodes to go. So we're going to be getting somewhere. We already know we're getting a second season, and
But that's now going into production. That's like a year and a half, 2 years away.
yeah. So
Yeah, I think it'd be quicker than that.
yeah, I think that we'll see it next year. I think they're going to be a year apart.
We'll see. I'm not holding out a whole lot
Yeah.
of hope for that, but we'll see. We'll see.
Everyone's going to be biting, what's coming out.
They might want to get it out next year in time to get those Baby Yoda plush dolls into stores before Christmas.
That's right.
Yeah,
There you go.
They'll be hitting the shelves soon. I'm sure.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for watching some Mandatory Mandalorian. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all that good
Ring that
stuff.
bell.
Ring that bell. Leave your comments. And until next week.
See you next time.